Hi. You guys might be wondering, why am I doing a review this early in the day? It's only 9:30 at night. Well, I decided to take the opportunity to say to hell with Vince McMahon's WWE Monday Night Raw show and actually tune into a show that actually cares about wrestling. You know, professional wrestling, not joked out bullshit with people in bunny suits and all kinds of other weird shit we've seen in the past on Monday Night Raw. Not to mention a very boring, stale show that you really don't get a whole lot of interest out of. Well, I got to watch an entire event of New Japan Wrestling King of Pro Wrestling event that happened in Japan around 4 o'clock their time p.m. 4 p.m. their time. And I really wish I could watch this shit live and review it, but of course I have a job I have to go to. Their shows start at 4 p.m. their time. At our time, it's like 4 a.m. in the fucking morning. So there's no way I can actually do a review on this stuff unless it's done on a weekend or something, which I will try to do. I managed to do an event with WWE doing a super showdown. I'd be more than willing to go ahead and do something like this if the opportunity ever arises on a weekend. So I'll definitely try doing one of these at some point live. But with that being said, I'm going to talk about 3 top bill matches. The rest of the card was really a lot of tag team action to give the audience something to watch and be entertained. The action was good overall with the tag team matches. But what I love about New Japan Wrestling is their singles matches. They have very good singles matches, and also this triple threat match that they're not accustomed to doing very often at all. That triple threat world title match is right up there in the tops of all triple threat matches I've ever seen. I wouldn't say it's number one, but I would say this. It was definitely fucking brutal, and I'll get into it once I get to that matchup. We did get a surprise appearance from Chris Jericho. Zack Sabre Jr. was supposed to face Evil one-on-one in a matchup, but Evil was attacked by Chris Jericho for a second or third time in the last couple of months. It looks like they're hyping up a possibility that Chris Jericho will defend that Intercontinental title against Evil in an upcoming event at some point down the line. Whenever that is, I will definitely watch it and review it for you guys. The other thing is, it was kind of disappointing that Evil and Zack Sabre Jr. did not get an opportunity to compete one-on-one. I haven't seen Sabre Jr. compete one-on-one in a match yet on New Japan Wrestling in my time of watching it. So, kind of a little disappointing, but at the end of the day, it was kind of interesting seeing Chris Jericho attack Evil and go all out crazy on him. Now, I'm not quite getting why he is attacking Evil outside of the fact that Evil went ahead and tried to save Naito from a brutal beatdown by Jericho, and Jericho won the championship earlier this year. Other than that, there's really nothing going on storyline-wise that developed between these two guys except for the beatings that Chris Jericho has done to Evil. That's about it. No confrontation, no face-to-face exchange of words or anything like that. Just mostly just downright brutality by Chris Jericho overall. But honestly, guys, Chris Jericho looks like a fucking $1 million in New Japan Wrestling. He needs to stay in New Japan Wrestling. He is a fucking beast there, and he's very entertaining. Very intense, too. He gives you a lot of realism to him. The thing after that is the Junior Heavyweight Championship. This matchup, Marty Scurll, I am so disappointed in the fact they didn't give Marty Scurll this title. Not to mention, Kushida has not lost one time to Marty Scurll. I don't see why the big deal would have been Marty Scurll getting a victory over Kushida for the first time ever. But whatever the case is, they decided not to go that route. Kushida won the title for the 6th time. I believe tying the record of the most title wins in the IWGP Junior Heavyweight division. So, kind of a little bit of a kudos to him for that. But other than that, I mean, the action itself was great. Kushida, as always performs very well in the ring. I've seen him in Ring of Honor, and I've seen him perform in New Japan Wrestling. He is an outstanding performer. They did mention in the matchup, that's very true. He is actually the Okada of the junior heavyweights. He's always at the top billing in that division. He's always in the world title picture of that division. So in all aspects, I honestly feel that, yes, they're absolutely right. He is the Okada, the best of the best in that division of junior heavyweights. But Marty Scurll not getting the victory kind of upset me a little bit. I was kind of hoping he'd get a break. He kind of needs it because he needs to eventually move into a heavyweight division type role where he could be winning world titles. Now, I understand he can do that in Ring of Honor, which he has not accomplished yet. But at the end of the day, this would have been a jump start to that storyline for him to move into the heavyweight division eventually. I think that would have been a better idea instead of him losing. At this point, I don't know what they're trying to do with him outside of, just giving Kushida the typical, idea that he was going to win anyway and go 4-0 against Marty Scurll. So I don't understand that. But match itself was great. 3.5 out of 5 stars overall. Good action in the ring. Everything on point. Very well done. Then after that, it was Jay White and versus Tanahashi for his briefcase to get a number 1 contender shot for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship on January 4th's Wrestling Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome. This matchup, very much like a WWE type of matchup. A lot of interferences by Jay White's new manager, who was a former manager of of Okada. And Jay White went ahead and he was doing all kinds of dirty tactics to get this victory. Jito, the manager of Jay White, tried to grab the referee, knock the referee out. He very much played a role like Paul Heyman of New Japan Wrestling in a sense. He did everything he could to help Jay White, and unfortunately, at the end of the day, even with Jay White doing a low blow, Jay White using a chair, using the chair like Sabu would, and still hitting his Blade Runner maneuver, and still could not get the win at the end of the day. He could not pick up the victory. Tanahashi got very lucky, played possum, got the schoolboy pin, and got the 1-2-3 to walk away. Still the briefcase winner to have the opportunity at the Tokyo Dome on January 4th. So, damn! I don't know what to tell you on that. But that matchup was fucking awesome. Whoever was to win, I was cool with. Because, quite frankly, it would have been history in the making. A British wrestler against a Canadian wrestler, both not Japanese, foreign wrestlers, competing in a main event of Wrestle Kingdom. So, that would have been one hell of a main event. But with them not going with that, I kind of figured they wouldn't, because of the sense that they want to at least have their own guy from Japan representing them in the Tokyo Dome against Kenny Omega for the world title. At the end of the match, though, Jito, the former manager of Okada, was going ahead and being held up by the Bullet Club, the original group that they're calling themselves, the Bullet Club Guerrillas of Destiny, with Tema Tonga and Tonga Loya, and a couple other guys that are in their group. And they actually were holding them kind of like hostage, having Okada say, hey, take one of these guys out and hit him. After Okada tried to save Tanahashi from a brutal beatdown, he ended up getting knocked out of the whole picture, and Okada went ahead and was going to attack Jito. Jito was actually let go after Tama Tonga got a version of a diamond cutter / RKO on Okada after Okada was going to do a running rainmaker to Jito. He manages to get hit with that RKO diamond color type finisher. And before you know it, they have just recruited a few guys to their Bullet Club group. It's looking kind of like Jay White might be becoming a new main eventer in New Japan Wrestling. That's what it's looking like to me. I kind of figure by next year, by like 2018, somewhere in mid-2018, maybe even the early part of 2018, we may see Jay White win the IWGP Heavyweight title. That I can promise you. Tanahashi. What do I think about him? What do I think they should do with Tanahashi at this point? Do I feel that they should make him beat Kenny Omega at the Tokyo Dome for the IWGP World title? I don't think so. I think that this should be something that should be Kenny Omega's victory. He has been the measuring stick of New Japan Wrestling. He has carried New Japan Wrestling on his back. And he has been the front runner of this company. I honestly feel he deserves to have the win at this at one of the biggest events that New Japan Wrestling has. And he deserves to have this win and basically be anointed as the head guy of the company. Not that they haven't already done that, but to actually physically give him that kind of accomplishment to win such a big match like this at the Wrestling Kingdom event. So I definitely think that is something that should happen. Now, other things that were on this event. The main event itself, the triple threat match. This matchup, I did see a couple of botches by Kenny Omega and also Kota Ibushi. I think a lot of these, the two major botches that I noticed in this matchup, I think had a lot to do with the fact that they were sweaty and kind of slippery. So I think maybe that might have played a role into why there was botch moves in this event, or in this matchup itself. So I can't be too harsh on them, but I did notice it. It was very easily detected in the matchup itself. But at the end of the day, this matchup was a 5-star to me. I mean, this is... every fucking event, they figure out some way to give me a reason to say, what the fuck? They had Kota Ibushi in several different occasions looking like he was going to win. They had Cody Rhodes looking like he was going to win. And then, of course, at the end of the day, Kenny Omega won. But, not also was this a good match. What made this a great match wasn't just the action in the ring. It was also the storyline telling. They actually played into culture of Japan not being familiarized with triple threat wrestling. They made the centerpiece was centered around Kota Ibushi. He seemed very confused. He didn't know what to really do. He didn't know if he was supposed to tag with... He acted more like he was a tag team partner with Kenny Omega than actually competing for the World Championship at certain points, especially in the beginning of the event. But as time went on, he gradually seemed to learn what was going on in the ring. But in the beginning, there was actually like kind of a culture shock. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Am I supposed to attack you? Am I supposed to attack him? Am I supposed to team with you and attack Cody Rhodes? He seemed very discombobulated throughout the beginning part of the match. But as we got to mid part, I'd say about 10 minutes in, he started figuring out what he needed to do. Because Kenny Omega was starting to take advantage of the opportunity from Kota Ibushi to get the victory. So in a sense, he kind of was saying to himself, okay, this is not me tagging with, doing a tornado tag team match with Kenny Omega anymore. This is actually me competing against him as well as Cody Rhodes. So in a sense, I guess you could say that kind of made Kota Ibushi look a little stupid, but at the same time, this is culture shock to them. They don't know what a triple threat match is. That's not something that they're used to doing. I believe this is probably the second time they've ever done a triple threat match for their world championship. So it's something totally new to them. I mean, they did do a fatal four-way matchup for the junior heavyweight championship at the Wrestling Kingdom event earlier this year. But other than that, I mean, there really hasn't been a whole lot of multi-man wrestling matches done in the main events for world championship belts. So, I gotta be honest with you. This match was very good. Good storyline telling. I mean, Cody Rhodes had another thing in this. You kind of made you think, is he really still part of this group, or does he really don't care anything but himself? He seems to come across playing a very heel-like type of character while being in a face faction. So, kind of confuses me a little bit, which is good. I think that is a good thing in a way. It's kind of making you guess what's going on, who is with what is with who, kind of situation. You don't know if Cody Rhodes is really there for himself, or is he actually there because, yes, he wants to win gold, but he also cares about the people he's with at this point. He's earned the respect. Well, they've earned his respect in the sense that he actually values their in-ring wrestling skills, their personalities, and who they are as people. So I guess in a sense he's felt like at this point they are his friends and they're people that he should care about. But at the same time, his greed to want to have gold, it seems to override him at times, especially in a matchup like this. And you see this happen quite a few times. At one point, he's grabbing a chair. He decides, I'm going to drop it. And he kind of goofed off a little bit, and he grabbed the U.S. Championship belt, looking like he was about ready to unravel one of his opponents in the ring with it. But then eventually he puts that back down, he gives it to one of the Young Bucks, and he grabs the chair again. And he's ready to freaking jam the chair right into Kota Ibushi's chest, but Kenny Omega kind of leans over on top of Cody Ibushi to prevent him from being attacked. Cody Rhodes seems a little dumbfounded by this. Like, what the fuck are you doing? This is a triple threat match. As anything goes. Everybody for themselves. I'm trying to win a match here. And he's kind of like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Kind of attitude. Eventually, he lets go. He throws the chair away, and the match starts to go back to its normal way it was going. Kenny Omega, he took a really bad bump off the ring apron through a table and got a severely bad cut on the side of his rib cage. He was kind of bleeding on the very back by where his ribs are, and he would look pretty banged up his own self. Cody Rhodes earlier in the match, though, went through through a table by the announcer's desk, and he wasn't doing so good. He was out for quite a while during the match, and Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega actually had a really good point in the matchup where they just competed one-on-one. At the end of the day, though, Kota Ibushi got nailed with the one-wing angel, and Kenny Omega got the 1-2-3. Cody Rhodes seemed like he was extremely close of breaking up the 3 count, but unfortunately he wasn't there quick enough to do that. and the referee's hand went down for the count of 3, having him retain the title. Now, at the end of this matchup, I kind of figured they do like small promos to close out the show, and I kind of thought that the Bullet Club Guerrillas of Destiny were going to come out and have a meeting with the Elite group. Fortunately, that didn't happen. Instead, Tanahashi came out, and he pretty much kind of promoted their match between the two of them. And this is going to be a good one. I think this is going to be very close to a Okada Omega match. I think that's what we're going to see here at that level of competition. These two guys definitely look like they're going to go at it. Kenny Omega had a very sour look on his face when Tanahashi came out. I don't know why. I mean, it's just friendly competition. Tanahashi's a veteran wrestler in New Japan Wrestling. He wants to get back at the top of the throne. And he wants to win that IWGP Heavyweight Championship one more time before he retires. I don't see anything wrong with that. To me, I see it like as a Hulk Hogan final farewell tour type of event that he had in 2002. That's kind of how I see Tanahashi, only Tanahashi seems more of a realistic guy, not some phony baloney bullshit artist like Hulk Hogan. But at the end of the day, this matchup, I honestly feel, is going to be a great headliner for the Wrestling Kingdom event in 2019 at the Tokyo Dome. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say. The rest of the show is pretty average. Some good entertaining stuff. A couple of tag team matches that were good. I didn't want to get into too much of that because I don't remember every competitor in each match of those tag team matches. But I did watch them for like the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, and Chase Owens competing against Tonga Tonga and Tanga Lua. They also had a couple of other guys with them as well. Bone Soldier and Bad Fillet. They were actually Bad Luck Fillet. They were actually part of that tag team going up against the Bullet Club Elite. So, and they actually lost that match, unfortunately, because of Chase Owens hitting the pin. He seems to be the eater of pins on all of the matches that he's in. He seems to lose a lot, like Kurt Hawkins, which is pretty fucking bad. But that's about the only match I'm going to go over with you guys at this point. But overall, this show was pretty fucking good. If you have NewJapanWrestlingWorld.com subscription, I would definitely check this out. If you don't, I would recommend getting subscription to this promotion. This promotion's got a lot of good wrestling, and they give you up-to-date all kinds of shit all the time. They even give you their schedule, when they're going to have a matchup. You can check it out and what have you. Check out the entire match card to see what kind of matches you're interested in watching, so you don't have to sit through an entire 4 or 5 hour event like you would with a WWE pay-per-view like they had with Super Showdown, which, by the way, I don't know if I'm ever going to do something like that again, where I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and watch it live, but it was sure as hell fucking fun, and I would have done this with this event today, but I have work, and I couldn't really do it, so unfortunately that's just the way it is. But I will definitely try at any event that is live on a weekend that's early in the morning. I'm going to check that out, and I'm going to actually watch it and review it for you guys. Because I actually really enjoyed doing that with WWE Super Showdown, and I would love to do this with this event. So anyway, guys, leave your comments and opinions down below. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel, and hit the like button if you liked the video. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead, chill for the rest of the night, get some rest, and go back to work tomorrow. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.